Okay, I'm going to be modifying the little sewer hose enclosure that comes with the Travato here. The problem with this is that, this is the hose that comes with it, is that the inner diameter of the hose is too small. See, this can fit in there, but you can't put a double-ended connection in here because it's just too big. So I'm going to widen the inner diameter here. I'm going to use some aluminum sheet metal. I'm going to cut this all up, and then the other thing I'm going to do is make it a little bit longer, because where it comes inside the van there's a little bit more space. I had to take this off to put my inverter in anyway, so I figured I might as well do that. So I've got all this space in there to put that, so I'm going to angle it more like this, so that it goes across the space, diagonally gives me like 3 more inches of length to put a little bit longer hose. Now I also want to be able to put my sewer connection in there too, so I'll use a shorter hose. I don't need a long hose because I can pull right up to where the sewer connection is in an RV park or where I need to drain my tank. So I also want to be able to try and put this in there too. So I need to make it pretty big. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to cut this all off, and I'm going to put cut that tube off, and I'm going to put a aluminum sheeting all the way around here and make it so it just barely fits in that hole, and it goes all the way across diagonally like that. It gives me lots of room for my my inverter there. I'm also going to make it so when I put it back in, I can take the this thing back in and out, so that if I need to, I can maintain or remove my inverter and then get to my fuse and stuff like that. So it's going to go all the way to the back there by that fuse panel. So anyway, so that's the next project, modifying the old Travato. Okay, first step, as you can see, I used my Dremel Sawmax here to just slice off the tube from the box. I wanted to have as much space on here as possible to be able to attach my aluminum sheeting. So first, cut the old tube off. Okay, you can see where I've got the aluminum box attached now, and I basically just got it close to the frame. You can see I have it off on this angle here, so it kind of goes crosswise into the cavity. It gets away from my inverter that's in there, and it goes kind of obliquely so that you get more space in there. Look down the tube here, you can see it's going back there, and it actually went a little higher like that. It'll go in there like that, so you can see in there pretty good. So I'm going to take this out right now, pull it out, and attach the rivets, which I just have in temporarily right now, and we'll go from there. Okay, obviously the hardest part was molding this aluminum sheeting to this exact shape, but basically it's very, very thin walled, so you can actually just wrap it around with your hands and kind of use this plastic frame here as a mold to make sure you get it really tight, because obviously it has to be really tight right around here to be able to get it inside the frame. Then I just used this board setup, and I just used some clamps. I stuck the sheeting inside for the first couple of bends, and then bent it, and then just kind of bent it with my hands from there. But it actually got a pretty square shape. I mean, it looks pretty good. You can see this first bend, obviously it looks a lot better than the rest, because that's the one I used inside the boards, but the rest of them are kind of just bent by hand. The only part that really makes a difference to get it really tight is right here against the tube. Obviously you can taper it a little bit so that as it goes in it gets a little narrower, which is what I'm going to do when I rivet it. So anyway, I'm going to finish off the rivets, and I'll show you what it looks like once I get in there. But you can see the oblique angle I have in there. Okay, see it. Okay, now you see I got it mostly constructed. I got all the rivets along the edge, fixing on the inside here, and then I've got rivets along the top, holding the top together, and I have a little overlap in there. You can see on the inside there where I've got the rivets going down the inside. And now I'm going to put some sealant, just seal it out, because there's going to be a stinky sewer hose pipe in here. I want to make sure this thing is airtight, so none of the smells can get on the inside of the RV. So I'm going to put bunch of silicone. I'm going to do that now before I seal up the end. I'm going to put a aluminum cap on the end, which I'm going to construct, and then we'll go from there. Okay, as you can see, I got it all put together. Now I made this little bottom cover for it, or the end cover, I guess you should say. So basically, just shape that out of the same. I think it's 020 aluminum. It's in there like that, and it's going to go in there like that. So now I got the whole box all made. I'm going to rivet that in the bottom. We got a nice big cavity here. Lots of space to put the hose. I'm just going to seal it all up, rivet it down, and hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. Okay, here's the finished product with the sewer hose connection all nicely sealed back in. I made sure it was all nicely sealed around the edge. I got my sewer hose connection pipe. It just kind of fits right in there at the end after I put my sewer hose in. Here's the double-ended sewer hose that I have in here. It's plenty long for most of the situations that I get into. But I can put the wide end and the narrow end in there, and it fits in all the way. And you can see inside, it actually, you can see it's been 2 years later. So it's had a lot of use. It's kind of nasty in there, but it's sealed nice and tight, so I don't have any smells on the inside. But it's actually worked out really good. I made this video 2 years after I made the initial construction videos. Okay, now I'll take off the top of my fuse panel cover, which I got those little things that pop on there. And then here's the inside look at the sewer hose container. As you can see in there, it's all really nicely sealed. I mean, I made sure this thing is sealed tight. It's nice and solid. I actually made a little support bar down there. That support bar right there actually supports this container so it doesn't rattle around, and it's really nice and strong. It actually worked out perfect. It's been using it like this for 2 years, and it's got just long enough hose for me to dump anywhere I want to.